All right, quick video for everybody today. I'm in my basement. Obviously, I'm on a step stool because I want to talk about these Irwin Fitness A-Horns, which have been on my rack for quite a while. I get comments on them. What are those? Why are they there? Figured this would be a pretty easy video because these are a pretty simplistic piece of equipment. First, let me talk about how we got here. So with me, my rack is 90 inches tall. I'm 6'3" with a little bit longer arms, and even a pull-up bar mounted in a normal position, as I can probably show you right here, I can reach standing up. So these are the handles that I had been using, and I'm standing flat-footed and can still reach these. I wanted a way to do pull-ups without having to bring my feet up off the ground or bend them. However, there wasn't a lot of options out there for me. The easiest thing to do, or at the time, probably the only thing to do, would be to get more uprights to lift this higher so I could mount a higher pull-up bar. My rack is 90 inches. My ceiling height is about 105 to 106, depending on where you're measuring because of the stall mats and things like that. So I could fit in 100-inch uprights. They would be kind of close to the joists here. And I didn't want to do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, that would be really high and I would potentially hit my head on the ceiling when doing a full range of pull-up. And also I'd have to swap out all 6 posts for bigger posts, which would be an expensive job and also a pain in the ass to detach and have to reassemble everything that's already on my rack because there's a lot of stuff on here, as you can probably tell. So I was actually watching my buddy Home Gym Hangout, and he had posted that he had extra cross members from Rogue and he had cut them off, and then he had put caps on them, and he had a way to extend his pull-up bar out. And I thought, now, if only they made an angled version of that, that would really fit what I was looking for. So I reached out to Garth at Irwin Fitness. He's been really great about helping me out with some things. His roller cups are my favorite ones and live on my rack. And I said, hey, would you be interested in making something like this for me? So we drew up some specs. I gave him what I was looking for in terms of how much height I had and how much clearance I was looking for. He came out with these angled uprights that give me an additional 6 inches of height. So to the top of this, there are 6 inches, so about 96 inches in total. Right now, I have a pull-up bar mounted, but I could fit a 43-inch cross member between these if I really wanted to. The way that these work on the inside is they're slotted, so depending on what rack you have, and the way they measure, it should, in theory, be able to work with any 3x3 1-inch upright rack, and you can adjust it as need be so that way it's level and flush with the rest of your equipment. Now for mine, some things to call out. They are laser cut for numbers, which is really nice. So I could put on other attachments here. Again, if I put a cross member here, I could actually bring some of the handles that are on my lower cross member up and get some more versatility, or just use this for general storage as well. He was doing a pretty good job, kind of sight unseen, matching my white Rogue Monster rack to this white. The Irwin Fitness one is a little bit more crisp. Again, this is also a lot newer, but one of the nice things about him is he can pretty much match any color if you have the color codes for it. Now, in terms of pricing on this bad boy, it is a little bit more expensive. Irwin Fitness is located in Canada. These are custom made and also potentially custom colored. So it's a smaller shop, so it's not something that's mass produced, so the cost is going to be a little bit more inflated. If you're looking for just the A-Horns as is, I think they retail without any custom colors, without any extra hardware if you need it, for about $180, I want to say. Might be a little bit less. I'll put the actual link in the description box below. If you need the hardware, that adds another 30 bucks or so. If you want a custom color, that adds like another 50 or so. So if you're looking for custom colored A-Horns with the hardware included, it's about $250 before actual shipping and tax. Now, that is pricey, but what I will say again, from my use case, it is much more convenient and a better solution than going the opposite route, which was getting 6 new uprights, which were taller. And I think this really looks cool on the rack. It's a nice thing that people see and say, hey, what is that? That's interesting. Now, they do make other things out there. Like if you have a ton of room, you can get flying pull-up bars that can kind of fit these needs, which would go out even further. But for me, again, I was looking for something that added just enough. So 6 inches here, and was an easy bolt-on attachment that would still fit in my basement, which allows for a full range of motion pull-up. So for example, and maybe I'll try to get some wide shots as well. I'm standing flat foot right now. I can't reach the bar. So this is like perfect height for me, obviously, because again, I told them what I was looking for in my space. But a full range of motion pull-up, I'm hanging freely right now. If I pull all the way up, still have some room and clearance on my head. And the way my rack is positioned right in the middle, it's between the joists anyway. So even if I were to try a muscle up, which I'm not going to try. That would probably not work for me here. Luckily, that's not a part of my training program. But the Irwin Fitness A-Horns I really like, and a nice addition to my rack. If you're interested, again, I will link Irwin below. There might be some codes out there for discounts. I don't have one, but you can do your due diligence because I trust in all of you if you're looking for a discount. But Irwin Fitness A-Horns approved for the basement.
Woo!